expect Azure Ray to give Tomato Morphling again? That seems ill-advised, Avery.
They learned nothing. Good day, sir.
Why did they do this to themselves? If I'm Tomato, I'm ecstatic. If there's one hero that I wanna, if I'm Tomato, I wanna play Morphling every game. You know,
well,
just to show the OG squad, like, guys, I'm really good.
Well, he does want to play it every game, and he is playing it every game. So, I guess you're accurate.
30 seconds to battle.
It's a slightly worse Morph game, though. They got that going for him.
Slightly.
Yeah, the Razor matchup's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
The Void matchup goes both ways. But they have Centaur and Shaman. Shaman's very good versus Hero. Instant Hex, long-term disables. Gives you extra burst damage now with the Hex bonus amp.
True.
It's pretty nice. So, like, I don't think this is a game where the Morphling can just 1v5 in the late game and it's guaranteed like last time. Where that just felt... I mean, that was like doomsday clock ticking, man. Yeah. There was no hope. This game, there's hope. You have the Hex if he goes in. You have Chrono with late game Void who can go toe-to-toe with Morphling. We've seen it a lot of times where if the game goes to the 40, 50, 60-minute mark, it becomes Void favored. The hero's just way too good in the ultra late, especially around the Roshan. At some point, you get chronoed. He does a crap ton of damage to you. Maybe you live, but by then, it doesn't matter because you're so morphed. The real suffer is probably going to be Ori because that Morphling matchup is just... It's pretty bad. It can be pretty bad. But he doesn't have to lane against him, so he's doing okay. Early pick Razor, you know, what are you going to do? You take the brunt for the team and you get your better picks later. I think Azure are a lot more comfortable here than they were last game. But of course, it is another Tomato Morphling. It's a very similar setup with the stun off laner plus the Rubik and then Seb on a Seb hero. Level 30 Magnus making his appearance.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Support Magnus? I mean, if you can get it off the ground, sounds great. I'm just skeptical that you can get it off the ground. I feel like your laning phase is pretty hit or miss, and then there's going to be this weird period of time where you don't have Blink Dagger, and you're just kind of there. Maybe you're empowering people.
I think support Mag's done okay in some of the recent patches. We saw some 4 players playing it a lot last patch in pubs. It didn't get translated to competitive that often, but I think the lanes, again, I think with these weird support picks that are cores, the laning stage honestly isn't the issue. You usually can find a way to get something out of it. You'd get some pulls, cheeky courier kill, fight for the Lotus if you have a stun, all these little things. You can get out of the laning phase fine. It's like, what does the impact look in the mid game? And I think, in theory, Mag can be super impactful in those fights, especially in the hands of someone like Seb, who's, you know, 1 TIs on it. He's very comfortable. He knows how to itemize the hero. It's just a question of can you get that net worth to be useful. Because if you're a Brown Boots or Tranquil Boots or Arcane Boots Mag running around at 25 minutes, I don't think Empower is good enough to justify it.
No.
But if you can get like a Blink or a Mech plus something and you're, you know, you're 2 or 3 positions up from the last position on that net worth chart, then the pick's going to look great.
Okay, so you largely agreed with me. Okay, sounds good.
Oh, what'd you say? I forgot what your point was.
Said there's going to be a window of time where he doesn't have Blink Dagger and he's just an Empower bot.
Yeah, that period sucks.
Yeah.
But if there's a player that you can bank on to get through that, I mean, it's probably this guy. Or a Rise. That guy's mags are really good.
I've heard it on Reddit. Did you want to join in on the Tianming over-under, by the way? 10 deaths?
How's he going to get 10 deaths?
Dire's courier has been killed.
So you think it's under?
Oh, yeah, way under. I take that every time.
You have that much faith in Pugna? Because every other analyst out there, outside Ted's an analyst too, but all the other guys said over 10 deaths for Tianming.
I mean, that's a I hate to say it, it's a foolish proposition.
Why?
Very foolish, because they have forgotten that the one factor in this game that outweighs that entirely.
Which is?
There's Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman's going to have 10 deaths.
Oh,
because he's Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, but he's
so
also...
So therefore, you think these AR supports are going to have 20 deaths between them? That's what you're telling me? There's no way. Shadow Shaman's going to be in there. He's going to be taking the brunt of the kills for the support duo. It's going to free up some space for Tianming.
Yeah, but it's also FY playing it.
It is FY, so he isn't going to die 10 times.
And he also popped off game 1, so he's feeling himself right now.
It sounds like Azure are just going to win by product of prophecy.
With 0 deaths on their support duo.
I don't know about that. I mean, I guess the 10 death Shaman game for FY is he's going to have like 4 deaths, you know? That's like a rough game for him.
Yeah.
He dies 4 times. That's considered feeding for FY, so maybe it'll be somewhere around there. But I don't think this Pugna is going to chain feed too much. There's not a lot that just gets on him and kills him outside of OG is just rolling the game with the Morphling DK.
Yeah, isn't it at some point in time he's just going to get conned up to death? Well, at least in lane, maybe he dies here. Yeah, gets bursted. Whisper is the one to claim the last hit.
Well, what do I know?
Good for him. So Ted is already wrong.
That's the only time he's going to die this game.
Only took 5 minutes. And it'll be less than 5 minutes before Avery is wrong.
Well, the benefit of being wrong is that you get to learn a lot.
I look forward to seeing what you learn from this game.
I accept this offering.
I'll let you know.
Mid lane matchup seems to be going very well for the Wind Ranger.
Whatever.
29-7. He got 4 damage out of that. Yeah, I mean, he's only level 1 static link, of course, because there's no reason to level it in this matchup, but just goes to show that they did manage to get around some parts of the matchup, but there is still the problem where Razor isn't succeeding in lane like you would want that hero to. FY finds a kill in the top lane against Tomato.
See, this is already a very different setup, right? That game 1, we just never saw this Morph ever get pressured. We never saw any threat of being killed.
Yep.
You have 1 Hex in your lineup, and all of a sudden, you have potential on this hero.
And you got a lot more burst damage this time around. I mean, Centaur gives you so much more in that regard than the Brewmaster does.
Oh, yeah.
But the only reason they were able to do something like that was because Seb was out of lane. He was making the rotation into mid, joining BZM as he hit his level 6. They just run down the Razor. So Ori is... I mean, Ori didn't have a great time game 1, and it's kind of looking like he's going to have a worse time in game 2. If he's countered by the Morphling and he's not having a good laning phase, what is a Razor?
He's a body. That's about it.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And there's not much they can do to help him. I feel like, once again, they just kind of put Ori on an island. I don't know if it's a playstyle choice, a product of their support duo being a little slow at contesting runes and playing around him. Maybe they just want to prioritize other ways. I mean, Ori's going to take it in his own control, I guess, and just make the move himself. You won't come to me, I'm going to go to you guys, and it's a pretty nice kill. If they'd gotten Wisdom Rune off it would have been even better.
Yeah, that would have been a really sick play.
Is under attack.
If only they'd gotten the Wisdom Rune, but Ari does manage to nab that one. They get a lot of damage on this tower. Seb's going to creep in from behind, see if he can get a skewer back on him, but they've already retreated.
He's been creeping. Creeping around the map. Creeping behind these tree lines. Looking for any type of angle he can get, because of course he is just regular Magnus with a gauntlet. What else can you do but creep? And the real pressure point here is probably going to be this Dragon Knight. Like, he's creeping himself up to level 6. And he's going to kick low out, so they're going to bring the Razor for a second time.
I like this. Razor says my lane is bad. Well, I'm just going to make sure we try and shut down probably the most important hero in the early game for OG. Kick this DK out of the game if possible. No time walk, though, so Lowe's going to get run down by BCM as he shows up. Turns some damage back around on Tianming. Or he's trying to threaten him, trying to keep him up. Oh, okay, that was a big whiff there, the power shot. Fortunately, he does have a range drop, so he'll be okay in that plasma field. Ori almost taking like a 3-position approach to this game.
Yeah, he just out-rotated BCM, and he's made it work. Coming back in terms of the net worth, making his impact felt. I mean, you're sad your Void dies there, but honestly, again, the fact this DK was going to create the pressure point on the Faceless Void anyway, I think you're happy with that exchange. more time for Void where his tower's not getting killed, you're not getting kicked out of lane in some bad one-on-one, and XP for the Razor. Really important here because he is going to have to frontline and just tank a lot of the brunt of the team fight. Do have Pugna to help bail out some of this win range ulti with Decrep and some heals. You're going to have a Stampede to break away. But right now it's the Morphling suffering, which is the opposite of what happened last game. And a better sign as well for Azure as they try and head into this mid game. Combat the like Mag Rubik team fight. Where if these two supports get the levels and it comes online, it's going to be pretty scary.
Setting up on Ori once again. Seb hanging around here. He's got Rubik coming in from behind, so the idea of a telekinesis reposition to do a skewer back. But now they know there is some sort of vision up here.
This is all wasted time, essentially. As both the Silence are looking to kick up the aggression. They caught him again.
Tried to surprise him. He got off the Morph Strength, though. It's only level 1, but it's enough to deter.
I mean, Raindrop should prevent any all in here. I don't think they have the nuke damage, even if they catch him, maybe.
Yeah.
So this is time for the DK to hit 6. Okay, insta pop by Whisper, and he wants to kick low out, pressure this tower. It is another point that AR could respond to, and they're thinking about with the smoke bottom. It gets scanned out, though. So OG just reading their moves. Instead, make their own.
Shackle into Ori, draining his damage. BZM has to run away, but he's straight to the nice Chronosphere from low. Just beautiful response there from AR. As you said, all starting with the successful scan, right?
Well, that was OG scanning them.
Oh.
So the OG foils their move bottom on the DK, but then they make this overextension top where, okay, Ori just TPs into it. So they suffer some tower damage bottom, but honestly, that is a well worth it trade-off.
Yeah, and Pugna, who has managed to sit here and get his level 6, can actually kind of push back against the pressure of the Dragonite.
I mean, he's really happy with this, right? Look at what is happening right now. This was supposed to be a 10-death Pugna, according to all of the professional analysts.
I mean, it's only 11 minutes in.
Except,
I'm not expecting a death a minute.
Well, we got a lot to make up here then. And once more, the cores combine. They bring all three, and they get the Morphling a second time, and his tower. FY, once more, says, fuck you. I will put the game on my... You know, when you ask for Shaman, you know you're feeling yourself.
That...
He went 8-2-15 or whatever last game. He's like, you know what? Fine. You want me to carry the game? Fine. You want me to... You know what? I'll take towers too. How about that? And I'll take Roshan to it, and I'll kill their enemy. How about that? You just pick me Shaman.
Radiant structures are
Giga Chad
fortified.
response, honestly.
Dire structures are fortified.
I respect it.
Yeah, but...
I respect it.
You respect everything.
Radiant's bottom tower is
At least
under
you
attack.
say you respect everything.
Oh, look at this
Radiant's
setup.
bottom tower
Another
is
attempt at trying to surprise Tomato.
I mean, I don't know why Tomato's
Yeah,
tipping.
why does he keep tipping back if he keeps dying, man?
Yeah, he's died twice and he's the lowest net worth core. I don't know who you think you're tipping, but these tips ain't working out for you.
I mean, this one he'll survive through.
And he's high-fiving him. This is like, this man's already been indoctrinated into OG very quickly. Tell you that much.
He took to Seb like a pig who does slop, man. He's just like, oh, taunting the enemy, tipping him? Hell yeah, I could do that. Tomato's always been kind of a cheeky guy.
It's true. I mean, if you're going to tip and taunt, you got to do it when you're up and you got to do it when you're down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Which I guess we're seeing here, so... You know, I respect that.
Hey, BZM has been chipping away at this tower. Like, he won his lane, and I could tell every single time he would use his win run, chip away at that tower. It finally pays off now. 13 minutes, they claim the mid-tier 1.
Nice little tower to pick up. Be Maelstrom first for him, and then, of course, that bottom tower eventually falls to the DK. That was inevitable. But I do feel like Lowe got a decent amount out of this early.
Yeah, he did.
He is very happy with here how he's sitting. I don't think Faceless Void cares too much about towers. He's not one of these carries that needs to play in a specific spot. He just needs to be able to hit camps wherever they are. And right now, he's just sitting bottom. He's not getting pressured. There's no real gank threat on him. All these cores are kind of chilling. And, of course, you have Bach at the top. which is probably a good sign for Azure, as he's their best playmaker. He's their teamfight controller.
Gas station gets a little top off to Ori here. Ori's probably the most surprising out of all of the cores. I mean, I thought he was going to be having a zero substance game, but
He made good moves.
he really
Made
did.
off, and he gets a haste rune spawn. How did that clip
Hit
him?
by the RP after
What?
he picked up the haste rune. That was insane range. Ori just cannot seem to outrun VCM, though. The Maelstrom strikes him down, and they're going to collect Box Head 2 off of that one somehow.
Can we get
some way?
Slow-mo replay of that RP, because,
That was insane.
like, what? I mean, vac ban. I don't know. Like, what is that?
It was vacuum.
That was not a normal RP range. I'll tell you that much. But they get punished. Seb finds the two-man RP. And they found FY, or FY found them.
Fast reactions from Ari. Outclicks FY, and then hits him with his own Hex.
Yeah, another dangerous move. You got to respect the Chrono turnaround here as the Wind Ranger in this game. It's the best lockdown tool they have. There's no save for Chrono as well. Something we're going to have to think about as this game goes deeper. If Low finds his targets, he has the damage to output. Hey, he's killing you. And time dilation is also very strong here. Annoying for all 5 of these kind of low cooldown stun spellcasters.
Maxed out Hex. That is super scary to give away to a Rubik.
Very
Having
strong.
extra cast range on that ability, so good.
I mean, that spell is ridiculously good now.
He skedaddles to the other side, but Azure Ray, we're already making a move. Just kind of shadowing Ori.
Oh, look at the turnaround.
It
But they got the Hex into that shackle.
Get the Hex shackles onto
He's
Beast,
trapped.
stopping some of the damage. Ori will manage to stay alive, but
Trapped
Whisper,
himself.
he's going to be able to catch him at the end. Now he's committed quite heavily for this one. FY, who's stuck in his own wards, will be able to TP out, no
Too
problem.
powerful for himself. Even FY cannot escape FY's wrath. As Bach laughs it off.
FY is his own worst enemy.
I mean, another interesting core exchange. It's Ori sacrificing a little of his game, but they get the Wind Ranger in exchange, which is the bigger prize. And somehow it's Whisper starting to clean up more of this map. It'll be the Blink Rush for Seb. I don't think there was anything else that really does much in this game. Both teams eyeing up this middle. Will be Arcane Rune for BZM off the 16-minute mark. Not even leveling in power, so... I mean, can't really blame him. What does extra Empower do here? Not too much. Well, now
I mean, Morphling is one of the ranged hero that takes pretty good advantage of it, right?
Yeah, but
Gets
not
such
for the
high
farming.
base damage.
he takes advantage of it for the damage later on, I think.
Sure.
It's not going to change his farm rate right now, really. Especially when he had a rough start and he's pretty limited on camps anyway.
Okay.
I can see this. It's just he wants to have the fighting impact there when he gets that blink. And higher level spells will do it.
I do think the support Magnus, one thing I kind of like about it is the shard that you potentially get off the Tormentor. It's not a shard that you're going to buy, but I do think it is pretty valuable from Tormentor.
Radiant are
It's
scanning.
some decent damage. Oh, there's high and there's
They
more.
trying
Do they
to
see it?
surprise Tomato here? Not a surprise. FY.
Oh,
Okay,
that
they actually
stun?
went for the stun onto the Faceless Void. Might cost them, though.
The stolen Hex
He is able to
again?
get off the Chronosphere, but the stolen Hex is just ruining Low in his attempts to go onto the Morphling. So they had to give up after losing FY.
That entire sequence was just mega awkward, man.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're not going on that morph instantly off the slight obs vision you had when he walked over there, it's just not really a play. And they'll get punished for it. Whisper once more in the right place at the right time. He has just had a tremendous series.
Nice,
Looked
man.
incredibly stable. And as all these cores are tightening up the pack here. I feel like the only thing we haven't seen is like a straight big team fight.
Yeah. Nice RP range again. He's got a really good read of this. Bach,
Oh, he wants that shield room.
they're actually not paying attention to him so
That's a
much
good one.
anymore. Ori, thankfully the shield room protects him against a lot of that damage. They'll turn back for the Centaur now and finish him off.
Is under attack.
But
feel like
that,
we've-
they almost got Ori, which I feel would have been a much bigger kill.
I feel like we've seen that before. Ori and Bach in the river. They're getting RP'd, and they're in the rune spawns that tries to bail Ori out.
This time it does, though.
It's like tempting fate or something. One time, Gabe's not going to be there for you. And what are you going to do?
Maybe that's a sign you're in the Matrix. A little bit of deja vu.
It's true.
Ward behind this off-lane tower, so very dangerous for Azure to try and defend, as seen from the fact Whisper is able to get the jump onto the Pugna here. No shackle shot.
But they cannot kill him because of the decrep. 10 deaths for what? Prediction. Failing.
Nice
and now
bomb. Bach running him down with the Stampede, actually skewered back by Seb. Gives up his life to tackle the rest of Azure Way off of BZM.
I'll tell you one thing. These aggressive goes from OG are not working out.
No, they're not.
I feel like it just plays into Tianming's hand. This Pugna is very strong this game. You're looking at a lineup that's all single target burst outside of RP, which is not burst, it's just some control. So if Seb finds the Pugna with a skewer and then you bring him in, that's a very different team fight. But if the Pugna just gets to sit in the back and decrep whoever they go on, heal him up, I mean, what are you doing? And now, Morphling, I mean, are you going to tip FY again here, Tomato, or what? Because number 3 on the board, not having nearly a smooth game as last time.
I mean, the thing is that they should have been fine. They jumped Tianming first. They had vision behind the tower, setting it up. Whisper
it wasn't together, right?
Yeah, there's like I don't know what the delay was from everybody else.
Well, if the Pugna gets jumped by the DK, it has to be a Morphling or Wind Ranger damage follow-up or a Skewer follow-up.
Yeah.
And neither of those really happened. So he's just sitting there and goes, okay, goodbye, and walks it off. And by then, you're setting the fight up for this Void and for the Razor. By the way, Chrono is up.
Trying to skewer back Centaur. It's dangerous move. Shackle shot immediately in return as FY tries to get his initiation, gets blown up, and gets wards turned back around. Now they can play around that one, though Seb is kind of stuck in a sticky situation. Thought about going for the RP, but decided there wasn't much to do with it. Tomato was coming into the fight, but a bit late, so call it quits. Support for support.
Another just very awkward exchange. Like, neither team really getting what they want. FY wants the Wind Ranger, ends up paying the price. Seb looking for the RP or Skewer on cores, ends up just dying. There's a lot of counter initiation going on. This Rubik is causing problems for the Shaman initiation, and on the flip side, the Shaman Hex and the Centaur Stampede Stomp are causing problems for this Mag. However, overall, I think Azure Ray are kind of happy with this because they're continuing to find a decent amount of farm on the Shadow Shaman, and this is all just time for the Faceless Void to power up. And he's powering up.
Pick off FY and steal that Hex again. It's going to be put on Tianming here, though he does have Decrep 5 protecting himself against BZM. Glimmer Cape to go with it. Double wards, Sentry being dropped there. They both are trying to fight for the same area.
Once
I can't believe this Pugna is daring to get this close, knowing that they had to have put a ward there.
He wants the D ward.
Doing
That was bold, actually.
That was super bold.
All right, he gets rewarded though. Game sense.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire
And that'll be the Shivas for the Centaur. So this tankiness is, it's starting to get there. Stolen Hex again for Ari. Another, I mean, he's just having his choice. There's nothing you can do about this with Shaman.
Yeah.
Matchup is just awful. And they're going to smoke and run right into him. Might get baited by this illusion.
Blink away, no problem.
Yeah, it should be wasted smoke.
Yeah, maybe Bach can catch him. Tried to turn around and hit the Hex. Couldn't get it fast enough, though. Ari gets picked off.
Damn. Surprised he didn't get that off, but Shivas does some work. And this is all posturing for this next Roche. Getting map control, looking into that objective right now. Got to remember last game, that was Morph just taking it with that Vlad's build, getting it basically for free. This game, he's not going to get it for free. That is an objective Azure want to fight and take for themselves for sure with the big Chronosphere, Centaur Stomp, AoE control, drop the wards in, drop the Pugna ward, you got double ward action. That's a lot of static abilities to have to fight into if you're OG. And yeah, Azure Ray just going to man up for it here at the 23-minute mark. Shaman wards let you do this. Nice call. They're going to get it for free, and that's going to give Low a lot of freedom. I think there is a world in some of these games where you might want to give it to the Razor because he is just kind of playing this frontline role, but I think here, I mean, it's Face's Void, right? He's going to take it for sure, and now he can just play super aggressive with time dilation, going in, starting the fight, bait out some of the spells onto him, and maybe free up some space for Bak and Ori to come in afterwards. Not the worst setup.
15 to 10, 24 minutes in with the first Roshan going down to the favor of Azure Ray. Dead even on net worth, though. Do you have a favorite as we start going, 30, 40, 50 minutes?
I feel as though the Face's Void trumps this game, especially with the saves he has behind them. Like, Face's Void is one thing, but in these games where you have saves behind that hero, he just becomes a menace. Because usually your way to deal with him in the late game is, okay, let's jump him, guys. I guess you have skewer displacement, so Seb is a wild card. If you RP this Void, skewer him into your team, those saves don't do anything. Stampede does nothing, you can't reach him with Decrep. You just burst him, take the fight. That's a big wild card factor. I don't think it's too one-sided. I think this game is really going to come down to team fight execution here. The Chronosphere is a hell of a spell. So is the Cliff.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He knows that Low is somewhere still out here. Gonna go through the portal, though. When it comes to those team fights, what's a good team fight look like for OG, and what's a good one look like for Azure Ray?
For Azure Ray, I think you just want to find the Ranger and the Mag. I think they're a lot of the damage, a lot of the control in the fight, what you're worried about. That's going to make the fight a lot easier for your Shaman and your Pugna. The Rubik DK can be annoying, but they're not going to kill you very, very fast. And I mean, I feel like Rubik's always going to get something right.
Dire's middle tower is under
So to
attack.
me, if you find Mag, you're super happy. Because then no one's getting skewered super deep. There's no counter RP. And the Ranger's most of the single target damage. So like this is just a freebie if you can lock onto him. And then all of a sudden, Tianming, FY, they're just going straight in because they're not worried about anything else. And if you're OG, at the same time, Seb, he has to play aggressive because he's the one who wants to start this off, ideally by finding the Pugna or finding a 2 or 3 man RP. There really is a game of cat or mouse here, and I guess the more vision you can get off illusions, the happier you're going to be. It's going to be Mantha for the Morphling, Mantha for the DK. You got to send these in, see something, set something up for the Magnus or the Ranger to get in there.
Yeah, it feels like the game is going to be a lot easier for Seb in this regard once you have the Aghanim Scepter done on Whisper, right? Like, you're significantly tankier. Your illusions are also tankier, so you can frontline. Your illusions can get vision.
The guy gets slowed more and then sets up the skewer better.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big factor. I also don't think OG want to fight this Aegis at all. There's no point. The game is not changing in any 5-minute interval here. No reason to give Low so much power behind that item. But this is an interesting pick-off idea, if you can find it.
Oh, that a lot of damage. FY, just a little bit too late. Fortunately, Bak is there, still with a stomp on it, too. That'll seriously delay the damage. Ori pumps it into BCM, but it doesn't happen fast enough.
You can see AR ready for these plays, though.
Yeah, they are.
That is just a perfect map setup.
They know. Get a read that good.
I mean, they know when Low is showing bottom that OG are going to try and go for this play. And they're just making sure that the Razor can continue to push out waves. It's honestly just perfect map play from them. They get rewarded with the Seb RP on cooldown plus the kill. The BKB forced out from the Wind Ranger off a just beautiful stomp from Bak. And that's the danger of trying to lead these plays with the Mag. You get hexed. You're done.
That'll be the first tier 2 tower down for the Azure Ray side.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Not that they're getting into the triangle of OG anytime soon. Aghanim Scepter going to be up next for BZM with level 18 just around the corner.
Yeah, that's really strong this game. I would not be surprised if he gets a Linken's on top of it, because Wind Ranger with Ags Linken's this game feels invincible. You have to catch him with a Chrono or Hoof Stomp, but are you going to see him? And you're going to have to be thinking about using these spells on other targets that are going in first. Let's see what he opts for. He might want more damage as well. But this feels like a game that's going to continue to go later and later here. So you have to think about the scale.
Yeah, neither side seems like they are chomping at the bit to go fight on the enemy side of the map.
No.
I mean, Azure are just defensively postured around a core that is pushing out the lane over and over again. This time around, it's Bak who's pushing out bottom lane. The two supports sitting behind him, almost catching Seb in the act there, thanks to a successful scan. Seb blinks away before they can catch him on the Shivas.
So this backup gameplay from AR, it prevents the pickoff from this Ranger mag on the map, but the downside is you do get out-farmed a little bit. And I mean, we're seeing all three OG cores continue to find a lot in this game. You know, you're not shutting anybody from OG down, other than, I guess, you're finding a bit more on your supports relative to theirs. As, dare I mention it, FY did go back for the Midas on a Shadow Shaman. Yeah, that is some scaling power. I mean, you do not ever go Midas on Shadow Shaman unless you are 100% content with this game going 60 minutes. Because that thing does not pay off for a long time, and it provides you no other value. So, you know, power to him. He's going to become a fourth core. This is one of the hardest scaling supports in Dota, for sure.
Yeah, frankly, he already got it. Like, there's some Midas value in the experience, right? But he's already level 14.
Yeah,
so.
he was already high level. Like, he was like level 10 or 11 when he got it. But the XP is decent on this hero. It will pay off in this game, for sure. And he has Philly running on top of it, so he got a lot of GPM going in that period. And his Aether Lens is done. Psychic Headband as well. Oh, he is living the Shaman life here, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, spotted?
Wait, didn't see him.
It hit him, but
Now he sees him.
didn't actually give vision. What? Fortunately, the blind Chronosphere will stop him there.
That looked mega weird, that entire sequence, but they will get him. Nice read from AR.
Lowe's probably thinking, when was the last time I used Chronosphere? Quick rest. Time to put it to use here.
I mean, once more, everything about how AR is playing this game says they're extremely confident with this going late.
Yeah.
And I tend to agree with that. I think the late game, it looks spooky. It looks very spooky.
Meanwhile, if you're OG, I do think you're kind of hit a timing. A little bit ago, right? The Aghanim Scepter done on the DK. You've got this Conda complete on the Morphling.
Yep.
Feel like you would want to make some stuff happen, and I guess a lot of it's going to come down to the big objective coming up in the map. 30 seconds till Roshan. That's what we're both playing for in this bottom right part of the map, and that's where Azure are trying to get their jump. They do manage to get it onto the Wind Ranger, trying to get another 4-staff away, but that long, long tongue of his from FY will keep him held in place. Tomato now trying to waveform out of here. Ori pretty damn fast thanks to a haste rune that he found in the river before this fight, and now they're just going to be able to keep going for more. I mean, FY, he's got all the sables in the world. You might be tanky. They tried to skewer back, and Manta dodged it. Ultimately, Tomato is not going to make it out. A good attempt by Seb, but outplayed, outmaneuvered Azure. A big win there as they pick up 2 core kills immediately on the enemy side of the map as well, so they go straight to objectives.
Yeah, no tips coming out on that play. He just got ran down. And this is where Shaman thrives, man. When you can go from one target to the next one at a time, there is no stronger hero in Dota.
Yeah, sit safely in the back. Nobody is threatening you.
4-staffs can't even bail the Wind Ranger out because, I mean, yeah, you're shackled, son. Nothing you can do about it, and now you just get to go high ground. You didn't even have Chrono for any of that sequence. It is just Faith Beyond finding perfect stun after perfect stun here. Just really made his presence felt in this game too, compared to that game 1 where he was struggling in the team fights with the Brew. Here, no problem for him. And this is the power of just having 1 or 2 single target stuns versus this Morph. Creates such a different dynamic in these exchanges where, like, okay, sure, he's 6,000 HP, but if he's locked down there for 10 seconds, it doesn't matter. And the damage is done anyway.
Man, they did such a good job at chasing after him there.
That was the face of, I shouldn't have tipped this guy early on.
Oh, what a fool I look. OG, not to be deterred. Immediately smoke up and run at the pit. Look at this spread. They are trying to surround Azure Ray on. Oh, look what he dropped his item. No way, FY. He was trying to put together an Aeon Des, and now he can't even put it together because he's missing one of the components. BZM locked inside the Chronosphere. Low might just save this one for Azure Rays. He hits a beautiful Chronosphere on two of the cores, and Ori was outside of it, beating on those heroes the entire time.
Damn. As Whisper somehow ended up with that energy booster, walks away with it. A moral victory, I guess. But he doesn't look too happy about it as, yeah, that is basically a wipe into Roshan.
So
what a ridiculous sequence.
He had his Aeon Disc coming in and just got stunned the millisecond he dropped the item on the ground.
Very unlucky timing for FY, but in the end, it works out as the Chrono is just way too damn good. Yeah. There are no saves for it in this game, and I mean, Lowe's like, it's too easy. I just get the Chrono people and kill them. Why don't we pick this hero every game?
Game 1 victory was so hard. This game 2, or the game 1 loss was so hard. This game 2 victory is looking pretty easy, though.
Like, man, this hero's way better than Luna.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower.
So they got Aegis for the Faceless Void. What else did they get out of that? They got the banner out on mid. So that's always going to be pushing into them.
And that's a rough teamfight loss because you found both supports with the RP skewer. So isn't that your best case scenario, right? This is where these Void late games become a nightmare because you're basically in the position now where you have to find the Faceless Void or bust. Even when you find everybody else, the Chrono is just way too good. And Aegis is going to make that a lot more difficult. AR basically just waiting for that spell to come back up, and they're going to force the issue. The Midas will farm FY his energy booster back a bit faster. And he says, screw Aeon Disc, I'm just going to go Octarine. Fine, you can have my energy booster.
I didn't want it.
I'll just go something greedier.
Sheev is trying to catch up. Low. As
nice
Link gets popped, they do manage to get the pick off on Tian Ming. Well, Low is still looking for his jump. He doesn't have Chronosphere back up. He does have the RP onto 2. With that waveform over the 2, Tomato put himself up on the cliff. Fortunately, he can turn onto the Faceless Void, time walk down, and chase down FY. But still, Low is able to get away. In fact, he kills BZM. Whisper charging forward, but the rest of OG seem to be backing off. They're not in agreement with Whisper that this is a fight they want to keep taking unless they can get the right kind of skewer back, but there's really not much to combo with that right now. Telekinesis up in the air, but Low easily shrugs off the damage, hits the Chronosphere, and that means the carry's dead.
One morph is definitely enough for him to commit it. Time dilation from Tomato, not enough to prevent the carry-on-carry battle, and I mean, he has a full MKB. He's just gigantic at this point. Too much damage from the AR cores. Another fight where I feel like OG, they had the decent concept. They found the Pugna for free. They get FY deep. He dies as well. Supports are gone. Should be a free fight, but nothing is free when you are up against the Faceless Void right now. They'll find Seb before another skewer comes out. I almost feel like OG wish they had the Shaman this game. So you could just skewer him back into like a Hex Shackle or something.
Oh yeah, seriously.
But the chain stun is difficult because you have Whisper going in. I mean, I guess you could skewer into DK stun, but then you're really just putting everything on Seb to find some initiation, which it's just not that easy.
Yeah, a lot of times when we've seen Whisper go in, there hasn't really... nothing has really come of his initiation. I think not a single time in this game. I'm not saying that's his fault. It just feels like okay, the Magnus is not supposed to be the be-all, end-all of your initiation, but they haven't managed to make the DK's presence worth a whole lot.
It's just not that scary. You have Void time walking a lot of the damage. There's a Centaur Stampede to get people out of trouble if they're slowed. Shaman Hex can get rid of one of the illusions. Pugna Suck can get rid of another illusion. So you don't have this frontline illusion threat. Your damage isn't overwhelming. You don't have a Bloodthorn or anything to present yourself as a threat.
I mean, some of this could also just be the nerf on DK, right?
It does hurt.
He did get, what, 20% less slow?
Dire's top tower
Significant. And they're just going to start hitting through backdoor. Wards dropped. Bot getting that retaliate damage, and you still have Aegis for 40 seconds, and you're going to have Chrono up in 10, so
Yeah, what do you do with
you
Seb?
have to find the backline.
Whisper, he's trying to use this cliff walking to get some idea of where they can make their jump, but they're running straight into a Centaur. They're running into a brick wall.
And BZM's already in trouble. He cannot escape the link.
Yeah, he's getting all his damage strength
getting
away, and he's
solo
getting pulled back into the Razor. Now they got the Chronosphere onto Tomato. He can't morph strength. He cannot do that damage. It's far too much for them to be able to handle. The 2 damage dealers are dead, so there's really not much of a point of the rest of OG playing this out.
Just a nightmare of a late game for this lineup. They're just so single target dependent. Team fights are way too difficult, and yeah. I mean, that's a slow rolled game from AR, but I think they were very comfortable kind of throughout it, right? And I think a lot of what set it up is the Shaman pick, honestly. It just made it so they're